whether it's being a whistleblower. How much of that does that still happen in the medical world where folks are coming out? Is it pretty common for folks to come out and fight the system to have something happen to them, even getting killed?
It's really not as common as it would be because of things like how journals and your career is destroyed or your life is destroyed. And we had a whole chapter in our book about people who did get killed, who
Yeah.
realized the truth and stood up for the truth and lost their lives or lost their careers, much like I do. So most people, no, it's not as common as it should be. But
Why are
we've
you doing this? Why are you talking? Why are you coming out and speaking? The man you're speaking against, he's on TV every other second of the day. He's on everybody's Facebook Live. He's on everybody's Instagram Live. He's on TV with Trump all the time. I'm talking about Dr. Anthony Fauci, and you're talking about him a lot. Why are you
sure.
doing this?
Well, it's simply said, when Frank Rossetti came back in 1983, and Tony Fauci, and he found out what I had done, and he said, "You did not," giving him the paper. He said, "You did that for me," and I said, "No, asshole, I did it because it's the right thing to do." And from that day on, we've been fast friends because there's no other thing you can do. It's integrity. I didn't do it for you. I did it because it's the only thing I know how to do. It's the only, and I haven't just come out 2 weeks ago. These books are 10 years worth of work. We've got everything taped. My career, every time I lost a job from insolence and insubordination. Yeah, I
You're a
never lost
rebel.
a job for any
You're a
other reason.
rebel. You're a
Yeah, I
rebel,
guess
that's for
that's true.
sure. So this is the last part of the interview. I will name a couple different organizations. You tell me the first word that comes to mind, and then I'll give you a few names and tell me the first thing that comes to mind. CDC.
Uh, Center for Dishonesty and Corruption.
Okay. FDA.
uh, same idea. They're corrupt. The only thing they're supposed to be protecting the safety of food and drugs, and they've done nothing about the safety of GMOs. They're corrupt. They have no authority. They gave themselves authority for efficacy of drugs, and the FDA closed them. They're corrupt.
NIH.
Still in NIH's National Institutes of Health. I still think most people in those organizations are attempting to make our health better. And most of my colleagues, we never did anything in the National Cancer Institute or anything else other than take care. They're mostly honest people. It's the top that needs to be changed.
OIG.
Oh, is that Office of Inspector General?
Yes.
We submitted Frank submitted a complaint to them about the lack of ethics before anything ever happened to me. And my lawyer called and said, or the lawyers called him and said, withdraw it and it will go easier for you. So corrupt. They're not protecting anybody but themselves.
Here's some names. Mike Hugo.
Oh, I love him. He's a fabulous, honest lawyer with integrity. He goes back all the way to the 80s. He was winning the cases to prevent those kids. He genuinely wrote that law for the Vaccine Injury Compensation Act with the hope that it would help these people that had been injured get something quick and end the suffering.
Harry Reid.
That's bad. Let me think of a nicer way to say it. A puppet. A puppet.
John Cohen.
A criminal investigative reporter. He purports fear, corruption. He drives the corruption. John Cohen is that reporter, and I wrote him an email. How unethical. I'm proud of what I did. Really? You're proud of what you did? You're proud of what you did? It's not the truth. You're proud of this. You're proud of that. Where is he now when the CDC admitted their tests were false positive? Hey, send this article out, John. Sorry. That's one I'd like to see in prison forever.
He'd be at the top of your list?
No, not the top of my list.
Okay, but he'd be on the list.
Got a long list.
Okay. George Orwell.
We're kind of living it, aren't we? 1984. Yeah, that's what this is.
Dr. Frank Rossetti.
No, just, I mean, my best friend and just a man of total integrity, and he's absolutely a genius. He sees things other people don't see as
Bobby
far as
Kennedy.
science. Bobby Kennedy, I've come to respect that man. Just respect is the word for his willingness to go to bat and really learn. He doesn't just say something, he doesn't do the investigation.
Deborah Burks.
Scarf lady. Okay. A buffoon. She's committed crimes in the 80s and HIV against the military, and they destroyed families. She's right there doing the same thing. She knows that there's no such thing as asymptomatic carriers. Oh, so we'll let you go. We'll do a release, and we'll let everybody out of their house. And then, oh, but don't get too far, because as soon as the summer's over, it's coming back. No, if you have antibodies, you're immune. Stop this. Why are you redefining immunology? Because you can, and it covers up your crime. So this just is more of the same. She should have been convicted a long time ago, along with Robert Redfield of the CDC. They perpetrated these frauds all the way against in HIV/AIDS in the 80s and 90s.
How about Tedros, the director of CDC?
Don't know him at all. No comment.
President Trump.
Think he's trying the best he can to honor the Constitution and honor his promises to the people. And I just don't think there's any way when everybody's lying to you at the top of what real healthcare is. He's not a scientist. He shouldn't be expected. He should be able to trust his leaders.
Bill Gates.
He knows nothing about medicine. He doesn't have a medical degree. $1 billion doesn't. Nobody elected him anything. $1 billion doesn't allow him to become a doctor and decide who gets what vaccines and who can't leave their home, just because he has all the money. Francis
Collins.
I think I said a puppet. He's a good man. He tried to do the right thing, and Tony Fauci overruled him, and that's the way I feel about him.
Harold Varmus.
Harold Varmus, Nobel laureate. He was the head. He was brought back to head the National Cancer Institute with only one thing in mind: make that virus go away and destroy Frank Rossetti. And
last but not least, Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Again, treason is what he should be charged with, and he should go right now. As far as and all of the money. The last slide of that Truth About Cancer talk was all of these things be closed, give the people the money you stole, reorganize all of HHS, Health and Human Services, and start over. We'll rebalance the budget quickly, and the victims of these crimes will get restored, and we can use these health measures that all those brilliant people at the NIH have done for 40 years to bring about a new health for our country like we've never seen before.
Dr. Judy, I'll give you the final word. Audience is listening. They've heard a lot. You've talked about a lot of different things. What do you want to share with them? Your final thoughts.
I've said it a couple of times in other places because I feel it within our families, and that is forgive yourselves and forgive each other. None of us could have possibly known. The investigators in the laboratories, the scientists, Dr. Rossetti, our families. We trusted doctors who weren't taught. They were taught something that was untrue. And I think that's why I have this baseball hat on for Vax2, the Vax2, the movie, The People's Truths. Watch it. And you see the pain, and you see the doctors say they weren't told about vaccines. You see, once somebody learns the truth, you see the families where one child is injured, and the child, and the children that don't get vaccinated. The healthy people don't make people sick. They're the healthiest, and yet they have to forgive the parents and the siblings because of what it does to a family structure. So if we can forgive each other and forgive ourselves, I think that's how we can usher in just a new world of peace and health again, and joy like we haven't seen in decades.
Dr. Judy, thank you for being a guest and speaking here for over 2 hours and trying to do your best to speak our language, since we're not in your world and we don't understand all the wording. I thought you did a phenomenal job speaking our language where we understood. Again, thank you for what you're doing and your bravery. If you haven't purchased her book, we're going to put a link below to get the book, Plague of Corruption, and go out there and buy the book and tell your peers about it. Dr. Judy, thanks again for being a guest on Valuetainment.
Thanks, Patrick. I really
Appreciate
enjoyed it.
you. Thank you. You know, it's different when you're talking to scientists who majored in chemistry and biology, because you know she could, with her knowledge, just absolutely educate you with technical terms. And I thought she did a good job being able to communicate message to the rest of us. And it's pretty intense with the experience she had with Dr. Fauci and what happened as a fugitive and hiding on a boat for 4 days and 5 days and all this. Just a very random story that she had. But I'm curious to know what you took away from it. Comment below. I want to know what you took away from this. And if you like this one, I have 2 other interviews I want you to watch. One is with Dr. Buttar, who also went a complete different angle with what's going on. He's somebody that's not happy with what's going on today with coronavirus. He had a different take about it. So click if you want to watch this one, or if you want to hear from more the economy standpoint, Danielle DiMartino Booth, who was an advisor to the Federal Reserve of Dallas for 9 years, she talks about the economic effects of what coronavirus could happen. Click on this, and if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.